Five Spokes, Karen and Pam here. Today's coaching session is on how to do a sub-max ramp test. So the point of doing this test with your riders is so that they can establish a baseline threshold marker that they can use both within the class as well as over several classes over time to be able to establish and measure progress and performance. So, I know that some of you have actually done a whole 60-minute functional threshold power assessment or test, but for most riders that's not practical. So I also know that many of you are using the 20-minute version of that test where riders are doing their best effort for 20 minutes. You're taking average power and timesing that by 0.95. So 60 minutes, 20 minutes. What Pam and I are going to go over with this ramp test takes it down even further, 6 to 10 minutes, super practical, accurate. Here's how we're going to structure this thing. We're going to go over some rules of the road for that assessment, and then we're going to do a really super condensed version of what that would look like using the structure that Pam's going to outline, right? And we'll wrap it from there.
Sure. Once you've laid the groundwork of you off the bike, I'm not going to coach, I'm not going to motivate her, I'm not even going to give her music. I'm going to describe the structure of the ride, which is her warming up for about 10 or 12 minutes. But I want her to understand that every 2 minutes we're going to be increasing resistance enough that she feels another workload. So a nice step up. From easy to moderate, from moderate to sort of hard, from sort of hard to hard. And what we're looking for is where does she start to break down, meaning where do her legs start to lose that steady cadence? Where does her breath start to change? Does she start trying to muscle through? That's not the deal. That's for another day. It's really important to find a cadence that feels natural to them. Most times we recommend something above 80, but anything between 70 and 90 for most people, and it should feel efficient, natural to them. So everybody might be riding a different cadence. Encourage them to find that during the warm-up, and that's what they have to own. That is non-negotiable. As the assessment starts to progress and the workload starts to increase, you must anchor cadence. So where are you going to ride? What's your 90 cadence? 90. Yep. All right. That means she has a window of about 87 to maybe 92. 88 to 92. The first ramp would start easy. So right now she's settled in. Darn. Spot on. 90. 89. She's holding her cadence.
No pressure.
If you have a meter, I would push. That is the best. All right, it's time to increase. So after the 2-minute ramps, she's good. If you're going to record heart rate, that would be awesome. You get more information. She would reach down and load up some resistance, and she would push the green button for the next 2 minutes. Now the load is going to be different for each person. So someone who doesn't have a big fitness base or a lot of familiarity with the bike is probably just going to add, I don't know, maybe 5 or 10 watts sometimes. I wouldn't prescribe a specific amount of watts. They just need to go from easy to moderate. And it should be obvious that, oh, I'm doing more work, moderate. Watch to make sure their form is still spot on. After 2 minutes, you're ready for the next stage. They would add resistance first. So you're loading up more resistance, more work, pushing the button for the third stage. Now we've gone from easy to moderate, whoop, to sort of hard.
Sort of hard, baby.
Are you sure?
Yep.
Now hold back. Cadence 90, spot on. So her wattage is going up, which is what should happen. That means more work at the same rhythm of her legs, no change in body position. I actually feel a little heat emanating off of her.
I feel it too.
Sort of hard, right?
Sort of hard.
Here's where the juicy part comes. So we're looking for aerobic ceiling, a sub-max effort, a marker that we can use later on, where the quality and the quantity of work are pretty much equal. So I don't want her form to break down. I don't want her to start sucking wind and trying to manhandle it and outperform herself. When she's ready for the next stage, she adds more resistance, presses the button. This is where it gets hard. Most people can't do too much more than 1 or 2 stages at this point. And she's starting to breathe a little more audibly.
Starting to breathe.
Audibly. I can hear it. I can feel it in the bike. She's definitely putting out a lot more power. She's doing a great job owning her cadence at 90. So you're probably close to your threshold here, right?
Absolutely.
If you wanted to do more work, I know you could, but you would probably have to slow your legs down, or you would want to stand up. Is that true?
Absolutely.
Now, you see people start showing me what you normally see.
They start, form starts to break down, or even though we tell them to stay in the saddle, suddenly it's up
I'm gonna hold on to it.
It's up to get momentum back down. And they're like doing this. They're done. Call them out, they're done.
They have to hold that for 2 minutes. If they can't hold it for 2 minutes, you're using the number, the ramp, the last completed ramp.
Exactly. So that would have been mine, for sure.
Yeah.
Woo,
Nice. So that was pretty challenging, right?
very.
So after, we finished 1 ramp, and whether you're doing this in a class setting or small group or one-on-one, I would give them a chance to recover, reload, it's sub-max. You didn't ask for everything they had, so 5 minutes, give them a chance to kind of assess how was that, talk to them a little more, maybe fine-tune any of the points, and do it again. Because every time they do the assessment, there's more familiarity. And what we hear most often, the feedback is always, it helps so much. It helps them to clarify.
Yep.
But when they're not familiar, sometimes they add too much resistance. They come out of the gate, instead of this, it's this. And they're like, or they're stingy.
Yeah.
And they're like, I don't know how much would... Stop all of that. It needs to be the same load every time. So there's this familiarity. So I would give them a chance to do it again, and then you take the average of the 2. But over time, they'll have a very good feel for, they get a ballpark of where's my aerobic ceiling? Where can I sustain? Quality and quantity equal, and that's a good baseline marker to work with. And that's, sign me up. That's the golden ticket right there.
Totally.
How much work can you do without, making it look chaotic? Grace. I think of it as grace and power, and it's a beautiful thing. People really enjoy it.
So, great job. Love that. The other thing is, you'll see some of the profiles that we post. We take it then even, further down, very practical. I'm going to let you take over because I can't breathe.
A little snapshot. So in the beginning of the class, you're warming up, you do some pickups, and I would say, all right guys, we're going to do a quick, I usually use 2 minutes, 2 to 3 minute, best performance with good form. But then I use that in the, in the profile later on as a target. You can play below it, you can play above it,
Absolutely.
You can hit it a few times, you can finish the class as strong as you started the class. And there are a lot of the profiles on 5 Spokes, you'll see that way.
Yeah. So thank you so much, Pam.
Thank you so much.
All right, thanks for tuning in.
Stay awesome.